It's I don't even know what time it is. We've all gathered up here at HQ to have a big photo shoot. I think it's something to do with being service dealer of the year or something. So we've all had our pictures taken. Just come across this new shape DX35. So this will be the same as the new shape 27s. Just having a look around it. I'll flip the camera around and I'll show you. It's nice. So I haven't got a key to start it up and try it, but it all feels very familiar to the bigger machines now. So obviously the old 27s were sort of Bobcats painted orange, so there wasn't a lot of similarities between the big diggers and the mini diggers, but you've got the same joysticks, same touch keypads, switches as you get in the bigger machines, same rev dial and things. It's all very nice. Visibility seems pretty good out of it as well. Be nice to have a go at it, see what it's like, because the old 27s, they were a cracking machine. They're kind of sort of dug above the sort of weight category, really. They're always really well received by people that had them. So yeah, we'll have a look on the outside. Right, time to go. Yeah, we just had a big sort of photo shoot with drones and everybody's vehicles lined up and all that carry on. So it's not taking too long. It's 9:30 now, and by the time I get back down to Carlisle, it'll be just before lunch. We'll go and see this 140 zero tail swing. It's going to need a thermostat and a couple of other bits, so that'll put the rest of the afternoon in nicely. Well, right, see you back down at Carlisle. Right, just after 1 o'clock, and I've been back in Carlisle for about an hour and a half now. Before I go on this training course, this Mechlac training course next week, I've got, or I had to do an online sort of electrics and hydraulics course. It was tough, very difficult. 195 questions, and they're all sort of translated from French to English, so some of the questions didn't read very well. And of course I clicked onto it and started it and saw there was 195 questions, and it said in the email allow 2 hours to do it. Well, I don't think I've got 2 hours of my day to spend doing that kind of thing, so fairly battered through it, and it was multiple choice. So anyway, I wasn't that pleased with my performance. I got 135 out of 195, so not a fantastic performance, like, but nevertheless, that's that box ticked, I suppose. Yeah. We'll see. They'll maybe put me at the front of the class, make sure I pay attention. Anyway, I'm on with this 14-ton zero tail swing. It's the one that I came and fitted this new turbo pipe and bits to. It's sprung a engine oil leak, and unfortunately this flexi pipe here that I'd fitted into the block, it was leaking out of there at the bottom. Now when I grabbed hold of it, it just kind of popped out, so I'm hoping that it's just a case of I've not had it shoved right in properly and it's not been sort of located into the groove properly. We'll give it the benefit of the doubt. There is a chance that the engine's breathing heavily, working hard under load, that it's actually popping that out. I've found with these Cummins engines that they can be a bit heavy breathing, especially if this breather filter isn't changed. So I've had the breather filter out already and it's kind of clear enough, so give it the benefit of the doubt. Another fault that he's found with it, how it's developed, I'm not sure, but the temperature gauge isn't, well, he says the machine isn't getting particularly warm, and the sort of heating in the cab isn't tremendous either, so I think the thermostat's stuck open, so it's just constantly circulating coolant through the radiators, and it's keeping it at a lower temperature threshold, so you're not feeling the benefit of the heating in the cab. So it's just under this pipe here. I need to take those bolts out there, pop it out and change it. Sounds easy and straightforward on paper, doesn't it? But to be fair, I've probably got all this sort of lot to take off and move out the way. Anyway, I'll get on with that now. Right, that wasn't too bad, a little bit messy, but that's because the thermostat wasn't seated right, so you can see that bit of rubber there, that's holding the thermostat open, and the seal as well, it's just completely shot. So yeah, we'll run it up now once I've checked the water level. We'll run it up now and see if she goes, see if it runs any hotter. Fingers crossed. Right, it's only been running for about 5 or 10 minutes now, and the temperature's starting to rise. When he sent me a picture a couple of weeks ago, he'd done a morning's work and the temperature was only down here, so it's already kind of climbing above where it previously has been after a day's work, so that's not so bad. And there's a lovely bit of heat coming out the air vents too, so that is a good job, well done. I'll put the covers back over the radiator, just check for any leaks, and yeah, get back to the workshop. Right, so here's what else I've been on with while I've kind of not been filming. This light bar is off my old van, and yeah, I couldn't believe it. It was 18 centimetres too wide. It looked like a Boy Racer's spoiler dangling off the side of this van, so fortunately or unfortunately, we'll see how it pans out. I've cut it and welded it myself and buffed it back, and I thought I'm going to polish it. I should just be getting on. So I painted it Doosan grey because I thought if I ever need to touch it up, I've got any amount of Doosan grey. So I'm going to make a couple of brackets up now. I've got these Doosan lights, which I thought would look good. So I'm going to have one pointing that way and the other one pointing backwards, so I'll make up a couple of brackets for them to sit on. I've got my plate for my new beacon, that's all ready to go, and then I just need to nip up to the auto electricians and get some grommets, so that when I poke the wiring through a hole in the roof, I'm not going to have water running down the wiring and into the back of the van, and it'll also keep the van from rusting. So that's what I'm going to be on with just now, just make up some brackets for these. Another thing that I got while I was up at Castle Douglas I didn't mention, they've ordered me some mud flaps. The van was supposed to come with mud flaps, and they didn't have time to fit them apparently. So that's another job that I've got to do, is fit these mud flaps. Talking to the lads, apparently they're not that bad to fit, so we'll see. But yeah, I'm going to have them on the front and the back. So I think it'll all start coming together eventually. There we go. I was going to do a big kind of elaborate bracket, and then I thought just a bit of flat plate, I'll just do that, keep it nice and simple. Right, I'll take these plates off and give them a bit of paint. Right, update, I've got my paint drying. the van rattling, with the bar rattling around in the back of the van, it's scuffed a little bit, so I've touched the paint up on it. And then over in the van, I have got a couple of wires run, one's for work lights, others for beacons. I've run wiring up into this duct for 3 interior lights. So all that's to do now is tie that into the wiring that's run along the bottom of here. All my wiring's run into the cab for what I can think of anyway. So yeah, everything's run into there. Once everything's wired up, I'll then, you know, tidy everything up with cable ties and whatnot, so it looks nice and neat. But yeah, it's I think it's about 20 past, half past 5. I'll probably do a little bit more this evening, but other than that, we'll maybe see you tomorrow, or maybe see you in an hour or two when I get home. See how I feel after some tea. Morning, it's Wednesday today, and it's a lovely day. Not a cloud in the sky. There's a couple of jobs that I was going to get done today, but either the machine's busy or it's unavailable, so I'm going to crack on with the van again. I'm going to get my work lights fitted and hopefully my beacons fitted today. I've got my interior lights done. I'm just at the auto electrician's. I've been to pick up some of these, so I'll drill a hole in the roof of the van, screw these in, put my wires through and screw them tight, and that'll stop any water getting into the van, and hopefully keep the water off the metal to stop the roof of the van rusting. So I got my work lights fit. I got my interior lights fitted last night at home as well. So when I get back to the yard, I'll show you them. So let's go and crack on. I got my interior lights fitted last night. All nicely wired up, bit of conduit on there. Drilled a couple of holes so it's held with cable ties. And yeah, I'm pleased with how that looks. I've tidied up this wiring in here. When I'm finished, I'll put a cable tie in there, keep it nice and neat. Oh, it's starting to come together. That's the lights all mounted, bar mounted, and where it goes through the roof, I've put some silicone between all the gaps so that the roof doesn't start rusting out, and keeps it nice and dry in the van. Put some foam brackets, foam pads here to stop it chattering and knocking the paint off this corner on both sides. Right, looks good. Right, get it wired up now. Here, and this is going into where my fuse box is, and I'm going to mount these relays here. There's going to be one for the work lights and one for the beacon. So I'll show you how it works. I've drawn a little diagram to help me explain it. So this is a relay, and you can see the diagram on there, which I've drawn for you on here so you can see it better. So from the battery, I'm going to have a permanent live. I could also have it off an ignition live, but I'm going to have it permanent so when the van's switched off I can still have my lights on. So that's going to be battery, which is going to have a fuse through it, which is already fused through the van. So I'm going to have a battery live up to the fuse. That'll always be live. Then I've run my switches into the dashboard. So that's my switch in the dashboard. So I'm going to have a live running through the fuse board and into the dashboard. I'm going to flick that switch, and that's going to send a live into the relay, which will then be here. So when I flick the switch, there's a solenoid inside there that's going to pull this switch down, which is going to make contact. So this live now is going to come through here and onto the beacon or work light. So that's how it works. Right, it's a little bit messy at the minute. I do need to have a tidy up, you know, tie all the wiring up nice and neat and things like that, which isn't a problem. So I've got my earth here, that's just going to the chassis of this because there's earth points down there, so earthing it there is absolutely fine. Then I've got my 2 battery lives going into the relay, and then on the front here I've got my outputs. So this one here is the work light relay, WL, B for beacon, and that one's going in the back too. I've only put a fuse in the work light relay because I haven't finished wiring my beacons yet. Yeah, if I flick the switch, you can hear the relay clicking. And when I come out here, work lights on. Right, I'm gonna have a bit of lunch and get the beacons in next. Right, it's 10 to 6 now, and yeah, pretty much done now. I've got my strobe lights in there, some little marker lights in the grill, and then up round the back. Strobes, beacons and work lights. And this is it from the inside. All the interior lights are on. I'll maybe add another one over the workbench here, but for the time being it's absolutely spot on for what I need it for. I'll get a bit of footage this evening when it's a little bit darker, just to kind of maybe able to see a bit better where I've put my lights and bits and pieces like that. So yeah, thanks very much for watching. Sorry it's been a bit sort of slow paced, just with van. You may be fed up of the sight of it now. But no, tomorrow I've got a run down to Leeds and then across to Liverpool tomorrow. So I've got a nice ride out, and then that'll be Thursday, yeah. Then Friday I think I've got to go up to Scotland, so if there's anybody heading up that way, I'll certainly be up that way, unless we get any breakdowns in the meantime. So yeah, we'll have a bit nosy around up there. Right, thanks very much for watching, and don't forget, if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, and if there's anything you want to know or anything you'd like to see in future videos, just leave us a comment. Right, I'll see you tomorrow morning.